Can we go? Yes. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. We'll just give it another minute or so to let everyone join.
Hi, Angela. How's my audio?
Sorry?
How is my audio? Is it coming out,
Good.
okay? Okay.
Yes,
Awesome.
all good.
Doing
Do
an audio
you
check.
see my screen?
Yeah, you're all good as well.
Okay. Good. Okay. We have 38 people.
You could probably start with a poll while people are coming into the session, and
Yeah.
probably we'll start filling out the poll if it's
Let's
already
see.
set up.
Let me know if you see it. We can see it.
Up. So with the poll, it's not I don't know if you want to adjust it if we can, but you can select multiple options, or we just want to tell people to select the one they use the most. But what are your thoughts?
Yes, it's the one that you use the most. Oh. Okay. Okay, we have 40 people. I think we're good to start. Okay, are we good to start? Yes, right? Sure. Okay. Okay, well, hi everyone and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Angela. I am the marketing manager at Tecnet, and I'll be one of your hosts for today's session. We are really excited about this webinar. It's one of the first of many more to come as part of our mission to help you stay ahead with the latest in workplace technology and AI. Today's session is all about how Microsoft Copilot can transform your day-to-day to work across the tools you already use, like Outlook, Teams, Word, and more. So before we begin, just a quick note to keep things interesting. As a thank you for joining us, we'll be awarding $10 Starbucks gift cards to the first 15 people who register. So please stay tuned until the end to find out if you're one of the lucky recipients. And I'll be reaching out directly after the session to send your prize. Okay, so before we dive in, I would like to introduce our speakers. My screen. Unfortunately, Andrew, our first speaker, had a personal matter to attend to and won't be able to join us. However, we are in great hands. We have Frida Crispin, who is part of Andrew's team and one of TDCNIC's foremost Copilot leads. She will be stepping in to guide today's presentation, and we're very lucky to have her with us. So thanks so much, Frida. And then to wrap up the session, you'll also hear from James, our Chief Growth Officer at Tecnet. He'll be sharing a few exclusive offerings, next steps if you are ready to explore Copilot, and we'll also be leading the Q&A session at the end. So be sure to stick around and drop your questions in the chat as we go. So with that, let's get started. Frida, over to you. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
Fantastic. Well, hello, everyone. Hopefully, everybody's having a great afternoon. I'm seeing that poll and I'm loving that some of you guys are already using AI. That's fantastic. That means you are a step ahead of everyone else, right? Using AI to transform the way that you work is truly fantastic. I've been doing it for almost 2 years, and it has changed the way that I work in more ways than one. So give me a second here, waiting for my screen to load, and it looks like it's just taken a little bit, but definitely seeing a lot of chat gpt users, and then a couple of people that haven't used it and a couple of copilot users. Would love to know in the chat why specifically you're using chat gpt. Just an extra question in the chat for you guys if you get a chance. All right, so let's talk about transforming our days with Microsoft 365 Copilot. But I want to bring you guys back a little bit. And the reason why I want to bring you back is for those of you who aren't using I want to set the stage in understanding why we care to use AI. What's the point of using AI? So we know that one of the main things is Microsoft 365 Copilot or AI is going to transform the way that we work. It's going to help solve challenges. But how does it do that? At the most basic level of AI, what it's doing is mimicking the human process of creativity. So it's going to try and create help us create new ideas, think outside the box, create images and art from scratch. Now that's still using the fundamental human capability of reasoning to create those ideas. So think of it as accelerating your ability to do that. So loving the comments about ChatGPT. Thank you so much, guys, for participating. It's great. All right, so when we talk about AI, I want you to think about it in two different ways. If you're an individual contributor, I want you to be a little selfish about this. Personal productivity. So I want you to think about this in the terms of your individual efficiency. How can you be more efficient in your day? Maybe you come in and you have 100 emails. How do you maximize being able to tackle that 100 emails? There is a way, and that's using AI. How do you save some time? How do you increase your creativity? Maybe in saving time with emails, you have time to be more creative with your business process. When we're thinking about your businesses, right? The businesses that you work for or maybe that you own, saving that time, now we have the ability to grow our revenue. We have time to spend in strategic aspects. We have the ability to optimize our costs because maybe we realize, hey, we have a bunch of tools that do the exact same thing. Let's modify this. Let's rectify it. Let's use AI to maybe cut down a couple of these cost of processes. And the last one that people forget is employee well-being. Again, I talked about me being somebody that's been using AI for 2 years. I will tell you, I come into an inbox with 150 emails. I'm not that stressed out. You know why? Because I have Copilot. I have my personal assistant here. So I'm not really stressed out about the fact that I have 150 emails. So before we go into a little bit deeper on Copilot, let me share some video with you and understanding how this product actually works. All right. So that's just a little bit of how you might leverage Microsoft 365 Copilot. Now, there are probably a couple of other words in there that you're going, oh my goodness, what's that? What's that? They're not really relevant today. just know that you can start with Microsoft 365 Copilot and then extend that capability at a later time. So I want you to see this image as we start with Microsoft 365 Copilot, and then we move into the potential of agents. Now, within this same environment of talking about how Copilot can assist you, I want to take you through the process of utilizing Copilot within different applications. I saw in the chat by Julia here that she uses it specifically within CRM and Power BI and coding and Excel. So I'm happy to introduce you guys that I do have a couple of those examples and how Copilot extends your capabilities. So Copilot in action, in the first place I want to start is Outlook. We talked about Outlook being one of the places where our email inboxes might be crazy. You might see 150 emails. You need to figure out, how do I prioritize this? Where do I start first? Or maybe it's just something as simple as, I need to reply to this email in a little bit more of a professional tone, and I don't know exactly what to say where it doesn't come off as rude. So I'm going to take you through a couple of those examples in this nice little video that I have. And I want you to consider how this is going to transform your workplace, right? Now, something else to call out with the Outlook feature with Microsoft 365 Copilot is you do want to be on the latest Outlook. So I get a lot of questions here. Hey, I haven't switched over to the new Outlook. I don't feel like switching over. For you to use Microsoft 365 Copilot, you do need to make that switch. And to be honest with you, the switch isn't really that bad. Having Copilot inside of Microsoft 365 in your Outlook is well enough the best adoption there and the best option for you to improve with that productivity. The other thing I'll say with Outlook and Copilot inside of that Outlook application is you can use this in other ways, right? So we drafted an email, we were able to kind of prioritize our inbox, but if you notice, there was a moment where they said, they highlighted specifically, I want this client to be important. There's another feature within that, which is have this sound like me. So when I'm drafting emails inside of Outlook with Copilot, I actually say, hey, instead of it being more professional, I'll say, hey, can we make this sound a little bit more like me? And because Copilot and I have been best friends for over 2 years, it knows what I sound like. It knows not to use, certain words. It knows I'm going to put a smiley face somewhere. So it definitely provides that. Yes, you can still use. So the question is, can I use Microsoft for web and still use Copilot? Yes. As long as you have a Copilot license, you can still use it on web. All right, so I want to take you guys through a couple of other applications in here. I heard some people really like Excel. So really to center you guys onto where this Excel demo is going, it's taking information over the last couple of years of this business, not just putting it in one Excel and kind of doing an analysis, but taking the information, analyzing the information, helping you forecast all numbers, right? And then let's look at the words, because we have some customer reviews that we want to take a look at, and we want to understand what are the key elements that are popping out in this Excel spreadsheet that we've downloaded from our sales CRM, that we've downloaded from other areas. We've put it all in Excel, and we want to get some evaluation. I will also say that there was a comment about Power BI coding in Excel. So Microsoft 365 Copilot in Excel has the ability to incorporate Python. So if we have any people out there that are coders that are interested in utilizing Python, that's actually a capability from Microsoft 365 Copilot within Excel. So there was a question in the chat, do the data sources remain confidential once imported? Yes, they do. So because you're using Microsoft 365 Copilot within your own environment, that data is going to stay within your environment. And I do have a portion on security, so I'll go a little bit deeper into that and help you understand how that actually works and what that looks like a little bit. So in the Excel, definitely is going to be able to reason not only over numbers, but also over words. I personally, my favorite feature in Excel, because I am not an Excel power user, I would say I'm more of a PowerPoint power user than Excel. But in Excel, it actually teaches you how to do it. So the next time that I might want to actually try to do it myself, I can go back to those instructions provided by Copilot and try and execute those formulas. And if you ask it for a little bit more of a step-by-step, it'll break it down for you even more. So definitely not just an assistant, also a tutor. All right, let's take a look at PowerPoint. Now, some of you may be whizzes at PowerPoint. I consider myself pretty good at PowerPoint. But Copilot has taken my PowerPoint creating to the next level. And what I mean by that is in our organization, we create a lot of Word documents and PDFs that sometimes we want to transfer into a beautiful PowerPoint deck. Now, I know for my system engineers, if I ask them to do that with any of their data, it's going to take them some time. It's probably going to be a week before I see that deck. And even once they do deliver it, it's going to be a lot of words. It's not going to have any images. It doesn't have any kind of a marketing touch. And if I do hand it over to my marketing team, I'm probably going to add an extra week because they're going to add some additional details. But if I wanted something that was ready to go today to be able to present to a client, I can use Microsoft 365 Copilot to enhance that capability or my capabilities in delivering a great PowerPoint. So let's understand how Copilot is going to help you be that PowerPoint expert to a certain degree. So I think one of the cooler things for Copilot and PowerPoint collaboration is if you have a very complex PowerPoint deck that you utilize as a company, and you're really trying to make sure that it sticks to those objectives, as long as you build that fundamental PowerPoint, like that template, build it out with the colors, the details in terms of the font and everything, you can pretty much plug anything in there. The other detail I'll say that this demo doesn't really get to the heart of is if there's a piece inside that PowerPoint deck that you want to expand upon, like within the wording, there's always going to be a little Copilot button there, and you can just click it and make edits inside the actual deck. You don't need to use that right-hand side panel. So it's very intuitive, and pretty much where you're thinking like, ooh, I'd like to change this, you can probably click on it, go and edit and change it. And then the last one I'm going to show you is my favorite tool in Copilot, and it's in Teams. I will give the caveat. The features for Teams are only available within your organization. So as you guys watch this video, at the end of the video, I'll explain a little bit more what I mean by that. But again, it's one of my favorite features if I had to pick one. So what I mean by within your organization here with this demo is you see how that Copilot panel is open and they're able to ask questions to Copilot. that's only accessible for people within your organization. So if I'm part of your organization and we have a team meeting and we have Copilot transcribing, because that's all you need is transcription, no recording needed, and I start asking questions of Copilot inside the meeting in that pane, only I can see that. No one else can see my questions that I'm asking Copilot. So I actually use this when I'm maybe late to a meeting, or if I got distracted and was answering an email, I'll ask Copilot, hey, could you recap the last couple of sentences that were just said, just so I have an understanding? Another thing that I'll let you guys in on, I ask Copilot, what question should I be asking in this meeting? And it actually helps me understand that maybe I was missing a very important topic here, or maybe an important opportunity to ask the right question. So as a salesperson, Copilot has made me a little bit better at taking that to the next level. So when we talked about initially the personal investment and the business investment, I am more strategic because I know I can ask Copilot to help me out. So I am done with videos, but that doesn't mean I'm done with the presentation. I want you guys to consider a few things. So the first thing I want you guys to consider is a new term in the era of AI, and that is shadow AI. Hopefully a couple of you have heard of this, and if you have not, the basic definition or the basic understanding of it, regardless of reading the information on the screen, using a tool, an AI tool that isn't approved by your company. And why is this important? At the most fundamental level, you don't want to be sharing company secrets with the world. That's just a way to end up on a news article, or on in the next news cycle. So shadow AI is just that, and making sure that your company knows that you're using these products and that they have a way to secure them is truly the best way to utilize these tools and to make sure that we're staying ahead of it and not having any incidents. So where does Microsoft 365 Copilot differentiate from the rest of the tools when it comes to that element of security? So to make it simple, Microsoft 365 licenses all come with some sort of security. And within that security, your organization has probably said, we're going to put you guys into different categories. So take, for example, somebody from HR. Somebody from HR may have access to social security numbers, pay information, paycheck stubs, even addresses, right? So that person from HR is going to have a different security policy than somebody that is just a salesperson that has access to none of that information. What's Copilot going to do when it comes to those two people? It's going to say, I see this person has security clearance. I will give it access to this data because they have been labeled to be okay with getting that access. I see this person has no access to social security numbers. If you ask me what people's salaries are, or if they have any data out there that we could just go ahead and scrub for their personal identifiable information, Copilot's going to say, no, I don't have access to that. I don't have the ability to give you that. So as long as you have that Microsoft 365 security in place, you're good to go with the permissions that are set. The only thing I will say is making sure that you have the latest information saved and that you're not hoarding emails is probably also a good idea, because you want Copilot to be able to reason over the most recent information, and not, an email that maybe was sent a couple of years ago. So coming into how do we tie this all together? Where do we kind of focus on this? Oop, it looks like I'm stuck. There we go. Might have skipped ahead a couple. Nope, there we go. All right, so if you're a leader in your organization and this is something that you're looking into and you're thinking, I want to move forward with AI. I want to understand how to bring value to my company and accelerate our growth by using AI. I want you to start thinking about who are going to be your co-sponsors as a leader. Who's going to stand next to you and say, yes, I agree we should use AI. I'm going to be the person that's going to be a super user. So think about it from that perspective, right? So be that person that says, hey, let's use AI, but also set priorities. Clarify how you want to use AI. Is it to make sure that you're accelerating business, or is it, I want to be able to look at our data better? Set those goals, figure out exactly what you want to do, and start creating that plan. If it's a business scenario in terms of like defining your objectives and everything, right? that really comes down to like your individual contributors. So our people that are in the front line, right? So if you're in the front line and you're a salesperson, how do you want this AI to help you? What does that look like for you? Is it, I need my emails to be, I need to be able to take care of emails in 15 minutes? Is it, I need help creating that PowerPoint deck, or I need help running an analysis on this Excel workload that we've been giving? Figure out what those cases are and figure out who those people are. And that's where you put the licenses first. You give it to those power users. I want you guys to think about power users, because those power users are going to start transforming your business. And I'm going to tell you, if you're a power user, which I was, everybody was very jealous of me because I had my Copilot license first. And I will never give up my Copilot license. And then lastly, technical readiness, which you're all here because you already have a trusted partner or you want a trusted partner. And they're going to help you get to that technical readiness piece, right? To make sure that you guys are enabled, that you have all the pieces that you need to be able to really activate Copilot. So these are just some things I want you to start thinking about, because the AI transformation, once it gets going, you're going to go, oh, I wish I made a list. So this is your moment to like jot that down and figure it out. So at this point, I am actually ready to talk about where we go next. So I know we need to follow up on a discussion, but I believe at this point, I would love to turn it over and have us just have a little bit of a Q&A. I know there's some recaps from the team that we need to understand, what kind of promos we have offering and things like that. So if there are any questions, don't forget to put them in the chat, team. I definitely have the ability to answer those questions. Oh, beautiful. Gita has put some great information there. So yeah, over to you, James.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Frida. That was awesome. And maybe just on that last question that was asked in the chat, you could probably take that, because I think was Jennifer who had a question about not having the Copilot function in her teams. And I think I was going to obviously talk about the different tiers of Copilot licensing, but maybe you wanted just to let people know the main difference between what comes with the Microsoft tenant versus the Copilot license that you talk about, that is geared towards those early adopters, those power users that are interested in doing more productivity with the AI.
Yeah, definitely. So when it comes to your Microsoft 365 license, you may see a Copilot button around there, but it won't have that capability. That's just a chat feature for Copilot. But if you want to see any of the things that I showed you, that is an additional license for your Microsoft 365 base. So you want to go ahead and think about adding it on. And once you add it on, you'll see that same Copilot button, but instead of it just being in one place, it's going to be everywhere. I promise you, you're not going to get tired of seeing that little squiggly guy. And again, it's truly amazing capabilities. And I'm seeing some additional questions in the chat. So.
Awesome. Thank you for clarifying. And yeah, I can uncover those as well. One thing that stuck out to me that I think would be a question is about adoption. You mentioned getting those power users started personal organization. What are some examples that you can share of how you can successfully deploy Copilot into your organization, into departments? What is the best strategy? I know I've heard a lot from, again, executive teams or people that try to embed it into the higher level first and then get other staff to use it based on function. But I'd love to hear from your perspective what that looks like.
Yeah, definitely. So funny enough, our organization did not start with our executive. We gave it to our legal team. We gave it to our legal team because guess what? If there's somebody that's going to find an issue with AI, it's going to be legal. And our legal team loved it. Yes, they loved AI. Um, they were able to adopt it. They were able to point out some of the issues that we had as an organization. We're a huge organization. We had a lot of documents that were old. That's why I mentioned that, because we had to go ahead and clean up our documents. We had to clean it up. The next team to take on Copilot was actually our Microsoft team. So we were second in being able to adopt Copilot. And now the funny thing is, I'm seeing it being adopted across all the organization. So we're seeing, I would say, little sprinkles of Copilot here and there. And it's interesting because as we've adopted it as an organization, I get to talk to people and ask them, how are you using Copilot? And even though I've been using it for 2 years and I'm a power user, some of the things that people are doing with AI because people think differently are amazing. The cool thing is you can share your prompts. So prompting is how you talk to Copilot. I've shared so many of my prompts with my colleagues. When I came back from a cruise, I had a really great prompt. I shared that with them, so it is one of those things that you can start at the top and trickle down, but sometimes start with the people that really need the help or that really just raised their hand and said, I'll do it because they're going to use it. And I'll tell you, 3 to 11 minutes is all it takes for Copilot to return your investment. 3 to 11 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sure there's data on how Copilot saves hours and hours of productivity a day. Especially, I know I'm a power user myself, and I could not imagine how I'd manage my inbox without it at this point. And maybe that's a really good segue into a question that was asked around how to adopt Copilot when you maybe have a challenge in upgrading to the new Outlook. I know this is a concern that a lot of people have, and I like to say, Microsoft technologies are always advancing, and eventually all of us will be in the new Outlook, at some point. I know there's still things that are still being figured out from a usability perspective, but from your perspective, what is the best way for people that are a little bit nervous about upgrading to Outlook, the new version, because it has some usability challenges right now that they've identified?
I would say my team, I have 3 people that report to me, right? And I have only one person on my team that does not use the new Outlook. I'll tell you what, every time I tell her about a new feature of being able to prioritize my inbox, she inches closer to switching over to the new Outlook. We did hear a rumor that Microsoft was trying to put Copilot in the old Outlook, but I won't hold them to it just yet. I would say switching over to the new Outlook is going to take some time. I did it completely cold turkey. I just switched. I hit the switch and I never switched back. There are features that aren't in Outlook, but to be honest with you, I don't remember what they were because I have been able to work with it. And I think the other piece of it is I leverage Copilot so much that maybe those
Yeah.
features aren't necessary, right? So yeah, I
So
would say
I'm gonna,
switch, do it.
can I say something about that? Hi guys. Sorry, when the session started, the power in my house went out, and so I dropped out of the meeting. So I'm Geeta Jane. I'm on the Microsoft Cloud team, just like Frida, and I support Tecnet. So I just want to say that yeah, I've struggled with switching over to the new Outlook myself, and I am going to put into the chat some specific updates that Microsoft is working on. So they have recognized the issue, specifically what you're talking about, the dragging and dropping, which is that bothers me too. And so they're just also giving some solutions on kind of restarting, updating Windows, doing a few things, and then trying the new Outlook again. And I got to say, I keep on trying it, and it keeps on getting better and better. So yeah, so you have to just keep on giving yourself a chance because the things that bothered me before, I'm like, oh, they're not they're gone, right? So I'll be honest, I've been flipping back and forth, but yeah, definitely way more functionality with Copilot with the new Outlook. It's fantastic. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I will
and I
put the
and I also
information.
and I agree with you, kids. I also kind of started going back and forth, but now I've fully moved over because of the productivity gains. I save hours a
Yes,
week, and it's worth the pain of a couple of features that I'm missing in the new Outlook that eventually
exactly.
will be there. But the productivity gains are really awesome.
Yeah.
And I'll quickly mention, like, apart from Outlook itself, also the functionalities that Frida was talking about in Teams are really powerful as well. So even if you're not using Copilot in Outlook, the way you can use it in Teams, like you can search team channels. Like I get unread messages sometimes, and I can just ask Copilot in Teams,
Yes.
what have I missed today? I can be out of the office all day, and it will give me a summary of every message. Not every message, but a summary of every conversation that happened in
Yeah.
8 hours that I was away from my desk, and I know quickly where to pick up without having to read minutes and minutes of a thread, for example.
Yeah. And I would say that my most favorite feature, since we're such a hybrid work environment, and so we are doing so many meetings over Teams now, I find that I can focus on my customer now, my partner. I can actually focus on the meeting. I am not scrambling and like taking notes. I just take the occasional screenshot, and at the end of the meeting, Copilot has
the meeting recap and the action items. That's the best thing because you forget sometimes the promises you've made. And so I like the fact that it's like, remember this is your action item, Gita. This is the partner's action item. So it's really helpful and staying on top of all your meetings.
Awesome. We'll take a couple more questions. Otherwise, I'll kind of continue to talk about what Tecnet is doing in terms of our AI adoption. So we've got our strategic AI innovation team, and their mission is really to help our clients identify AI into their business goals, working directly with IT teams to ensure things like security and compliance, supporting business leaders to explore business cases using AI, and also supporting end users, right, to ensure that you're getting things like customized training, that we're optimizing your IT environment to be able to support AI. So whether you're starting to experiment with it right now or you're expanding your use of AI tools like Copilot, we have an AI team that's laser focused on supporting you that way as well. So please do engage with us, and we're happy to meet with you. In terms of our AI offerings, so following this, we have quite a few offerings that we can offer you to your organization and to your staff. So if you're ready to take the next step, definitely consider our first offering around Copilot licenses. So right now we have an offer that we're working with Microsoft TD Synnex that, if you purchase 5 Copilot licenses, we can get you a free license for the first year. This applies to first-time buyers. So a lot of you, I imagine, who've not started rolling out the licensed Copilot into your tenant, we can definitely support you that way. Limited seats, so definitely reach out to us if this is something that interests you. Tecnet will help you with that end-to-end setup, licensing, onboarding, and even if you wanted some customized training, that's something that we can offer. Training sessions just like this. We talked about adoption, and we know that making things like Copilot successful in your organization requires training. So we're able to support you with some role-based tailored training for your staff and organization as needed. We can also help build specific materials for your departments as well. So if you have an accounting department that's more focused on Excel and you need some support that way, reach out to us and we can work with you. And last but not least, AI discovery. So we know that everyone is at a different stage of their AI journey. And we have a team dedicated to focus on doing these initial consultations with you. These consultations are free, so definitely take advantage of them. And what will happen after these consultations is you'll receive a recommendation on how to accelerate your AI journey, whether it being security, data governance, or productivity, as we've discussed today. All these specific areas can be covered as well. So with that, definitely put it out to questions. We'd love to understand more from yourselves in these last few minutes around what we can do to kind of support AI adoption in your organizations, whether it's Copilot or more broadly. And obviously, we've got Frida and Gita who bring a wealth of experience across different industries to support in terms of understanding where AI plays a role.
That's a fantastic promo, by the way. Oh my gosh. That is
James,
amazing.
I believe there was a question from Mark that we didn't answer.
Sure. Do you want to read the question out, Angela?
Yeah. He said, interested in using Copilot with Outlook, but can't move to the new version of Outlook because of loss of functionality. Will MSFT?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I just answered that. That's what we were talking about earlier. That Microsoft recognizes the issues, and they actually have this incident reports that they're fully aware of it, and there's a current status of where they're at. They have made a lot of improvements, and then there's workarounds and what kind of like it's not 100% there yet, but they're working on it, and they're giving some suggestions on how you can try it again and see if it's a little bit better this time.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Thank you. I know one other aspect that comes up is around the shadow AI. People are using different AI tools in their workplaces. And I think something you touched on, Frida, was the data governance piece that a lot of people miss. Do you mind speaking a little bit about what that looks like for organizations that say, a lot of my staff are using all these different AI tools that are not approved by the company. I don't want to discourage our staff from not using AI and telling them to actually stop using these tools, but we're also not ready to implement an organizational level AI tool. And we're beginning our journey with something like Copilot. What are some strategies around having an environment where you've got multiple AI tools, you're starting to move towards Copilot, but you've got people using some of these other non-approved ones as well? Do you have any thoughts on that?
First thing, our organization actually put out an announcement saying these are the approved AIs, these are not approved AIs. And then they issued training for the ones that were approved, right? So that's the first behavioral process. The second thing is from a Microsoft 365 perspective, depending on your license, you could lock it down. So as an organization, you can say you don't have access to these on your computer or your company computer, which means something as simple as dragging and dropping a document into the other AIs, right? You wouldn't be able to do that. But the last thing I would say is there's something that you can activate within your environment, which is Copilot Chat. Now, it's not going to give you any of the functionality I showed you today. So if you want to have it in PowerPoint, Outlook, Excel, all that, it's not going to go there. But guess what? It is going to keep it safe. And the reason it's going to keep it safe is it'll sit in your environment. You'll be able to chat with it, just like you would chat with like a bot. You would be able to consult it like your own personal assistant. Yep. It's not going to be inside of Outlook. It's not going to give you all the productivity games that way, but at least you can start using it. You can start seeing the benefits of it without having your whole company information just spill out into the internet.
Right.
Again, it's a great way to start. One, you're already using Copilot at that point, right? It's accessible. But two, you start to see how it's going to change the way that you work. And hopefully by the time you realize that, which would be probably like a week, I'm going to be honest, it's probably going to be like within a week, you're going to be like, hey, can I just buy a Copilot license? Because at this point, I need it everywhere. This isn't enough. So, Geeta, I don't know if you want to add anything else, but
it's cheaper than going out for lunch. People will give up their lunches outside, and they'll keep their Copilot. If I lost Copilot, I would be a toddler having a hissy fit. But what I'm going to tell you is already your governance and the security that you already have as an organization is already embedded because it's a part of the Microsoft 365 suite, which is like, it's a comprehensive part of what your organization is already using. And it is secure because enterprise grade security is already a free part of Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat. And so you're better off using that instead of using any other outside tool. Use the M365 Copilot Chat because it is powered by GPT-4, which you're going to pay $20 USD a month for that. Why do you want to do that? It's free. You have it. You guys are all M365 users, so use your Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat for free. And I'm going to put that link into the chat as well. So every one of you, I want that on your computer bookmarked. Okay. I'm going to come and look.
And thank you so much for mentioning that, Geeta. I'm someone who's a culprit too, who didn't realize that GPT-4 was running in Copilot Chat for free, and only until I found out I started using Copilot because it was the exact same functionality that I was looking for. So that's definitely a good plug to inform people that you're using the exact same features, and it's available to you for free, like you said.
Yes, and it doesn't train the model, like everything that you're looking in there and looking for answers. It's secure. Your company data is not at risk, and Microsoft does not use your data. The information you're putting in there, none of it is used to train the model, and that's the important thing that you need to realize as well.
Awesome. So I have a couple of questions in the chat. One of them, and you guys can feel free to come in as well and respond. But yeah, so the one is, does Microsoft offer a discounted licensing for non-profit organizations? And the answer is yes. I think across the board, Microsoft's always wants to support non-profit organizations in various ways. Their tool set, the application set allows for different pricing models for that. So definitely reach out to our sales team. I would say for anyone wanting to get started with just understanding Copilot licensing and the opportunities available for your organization, please reach out to our sales team at sales@tecnet.ca. Angela and all of our sales team can support you in getting some ideas of what cost analysis looks like for your specific organization, and definitely take advantage of the promotion as well as a way to get started. And then we had a question around adoption. So we've got, and thank you, Shauna, for this question. And Shauna is saying, as a company early in our journey, we rely on your tools and guidance. Do you also support organizations like ours in developing and evolving internal AI adoption policies? So I think this goes really hand in hand with our AI discovery session. So we've got specific teams within Tecnet that are laser focused on AI adoption, whether that's governance, policy, privacy, security. So the first step that I would encourage Shauna is take advantage of that free AI discovery session. That would be a starting point of recommendations on how you go about developing these AI adoption policies internally. You can leverage, we have people that are BAs that are certified that can assist you in this specific area. So I would recommend that as a starting point, and we can maybe get your contact information and set that session up. I know if Angela gets that contact information, you can pass that along. But we're happy to do this for any organization. AI is much more than just an agent. It's also, like you say, it's an organizational strategy, and you need policies around AI and how you adopt it and who has it and what tools you use. So definitely, we look forward to supporting you guys along that journey. Great questions. Yeah, please,
Yeah,
please,
really good.
please continue to ask those questions. Look forward to hearing from you guys. In terms of maybe one question that I had that comes up from Shauna's kind of question is around the different industries and sectors and how you guys at TD SYNNEX are hearing around AI adoption. Are there specific, are people starting to implement AI at the customer level? I know people talk a lot about, customer service and trying to improve that and using AI. What are some strategies, I guess, for, we talk about it internally a lot, but using Copilot to just enhance the way your business operates in general. I know obviously with the chat function, you have access to so much data, right? You could, and then I know we didn't talk about agents today, but even using agentic AI, right? And trying to embed that into your operations as well, that uncovers a lot of opportunities to support your end customers, to operate faster as a business. Do we want to maybe talk a little about that while we close up?
Yeah, definitely. So I think that a lot of people can consider when we're talking about AI, you want to consider one, like you said, the first part, productivity gains, email, Outlook, and everything like that. But once you're running efficiently and you have extra time, really where agents step in is there's a couple of different motions. There's a first motion of chatbots, right? We've all interacted with a chatbot. You've interacted with a chatbot maybe for your cable company, or if you're trying to troubleshoot something, it might be the first line of defense. That's something you can use with agents. So agents are just that. Like, you can create a basic chatbot. You can then say, you know what, maybe I need something that's a little bit more complex than that. I want a report to be pulled from my Power BI every Monday, and I want it emailed to my entire team. Let's add automation and agents. So that is now a package deal. The next level is saying, I need to improve a complete business process, and I want to add automation, a chat bot, and for it to do it autonomously and just run in the background. Those things you want to consider by business unit. So every single one of the things I said, take a look at your HR department. How can we give you guys a chatbot that's more efficient? I'll give you one example. You probably have an HR document out there that everybody is trying to find. They can never find it. They need to know their PTO time, all that stuff. Create a chatbot. Dump all the items, every single thing into the chatbot. People can access the chatbot in team, ask it, how many days of PTO do I get? When are the holidays? All that stuff. That's the first thing we did, right? We created a chatbot and we said, let's just make it easy. In terms of the other pieces, those are going to take some time. And I think those come when you have that ability to say, I'm ready to innovate. So the sooner you get on your first part of your AI journey, the sooner you can get to that innovate side. And maybe you already have business units that are like, we have an idea.
Yeah.
I would say start talking to your team, start trying to figure it out. But really the evolution is, at least Microsoft's image is,
Yeah.
an AI agent for every business unit.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you so much for that analysis. And yeah, that goes hand in hand with what the conversations we're having with our customers at Tecnet as well, especially these AI discovery sessions, is what more can we be doing, right? And I think you laid it out perfectly there, Frida. So thank you. As we wrap up, I think we just had one final question that was kind of answered in the chat, and maybe Frida can just mention a quick note on the security aspect of things. Hernan, thank you for this question. You asked if Copilot can be used to identify phishing emails. I think the answer is definitely yes, and maybe Frida can mention a few things. But what comes top of mind for me is that a Copilot has security in mind when it was being developed by Microsoft. And these are some of the features that really make Copilot stand out, especially as an agent on your desktop.
Yeah, I would say it definitely has that security background, right? I would also say that the second piece to that would be just training. There are features within Outlook that you can have that like name a phishing element, but
That's what I was gonna say, yeah.
even like it'll come up and it'll automatically say like this email's from outside the organization. Do you want to trust it? Like there's a lot of red flags before Copilot even sees it, at least from our side. But I would say that when it comes to phishing, that's more of a training element. Our organization, basically, if you hit one of those phishing emails that we send out, you get to sit in a very long training session because you did not pay attention. So
I fell for Taylor Swift tickets.
see. In my 6 years in the company, I have yet to click one. Very proudly.
Nice.
I failed on one because I have teenage daughters.
Okay.
I was going to say that truly the better tool for that would be the Defender for Office 365, which is included in Microsoft 365 Business Premium, because you've got your real-time phishing detection, you've got safe links and safe attachments, anti-phishing policies. There's the automated investigation response, and the Defender for Office 365 Plan 2 will even do like these training, where you can use it to train your organization. But where Copilot will help is, it will help you analyze suspicious emails, right? And you can ask, is this an email phishing attempt? It's going to explain red flags. It's going to help you educate users. So I think the answer is they're both good ways to, the good practices for your frontline kind of email like phishing attack defense. But that the Defender for Office 365 would be like that's the automated, it's in place, right? Whereas Copilot's like your interactive and assistant.
Absolutely. And what comes to mind to me is that with AI tools becoming more prominent, phishing is going to get more compelling, right? And I think that's where some of these questions where, when that, those Taylor Swift tickets do make it through the inbox and they do look very compelling, can we be using AI to have the extra layer of evaluation just to make sure? But I agree with everything that was mentioned before. Definitely phishing awareness is something that training is something that Tecnet offers to our customers too. So people can take advantage of that as well. But we are almost wrapping up at time here. So I just want to make sure
we're right
that
at time.
Exactly. I just wanted to say thank you to Frida, Gita, and the TDS team for joining us on this webinar. Your insights have been so valuable, and I'm sure a lot of our clients are going to benefit from what they heard today and accelerate the AI journeys. I want to thank Angela for organizing this session, and I think you did a great job. And we look forward to offering more of these types of events for our customers. And obviously, to all of you who attended today, thank you. Stay engaged. We want to hear from you. We love feedback. We want to support you on the AI journey that you're on. So please reach out to us. We'll reach out to you as well to get your feedback. But otherwise, it's Friday, and I know everyone is probably excited for the weekend up ahead. So have a great weekend, everyone. We can't wait to hear from you. And yeah, have a good day. And thank you, guys.
Thanks for inviting us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll stay on for a couple more minutes if anyone had any questions they wanted to get to.
Sure.